Paranormal in Pennsylvania may discuss topics such as suicide, murder, and other potentially upsetting things. Listener discretion is advised. Hello, and welcome to Paranormal in Pennsylvania,
where we discuss history and haunts.
Today's story takes us to Pennsylvania's own Zombieland. I'm Sarah.
And I'm David.
Let's get into it. So, I have never heard of this. Have you? Pennsylvania Zombieland?
No, is this like the, reshoot or the bad cut of Zombieland? Like when they make the whatever movie, and then somebody else makes it again really quickly?
Yeah. No, actually, it's interesting because multiple listeners suggested this, and I was like, we have to cover it. This is such an interesting concept. So, this is near Hillsville, PA, which is right near the Ohio border. It's actually not terribly far from Pittsburgh.
I see. Was this the location that was like the inspiration for The Hills Have Eyes?
I don't think so.
Because it's Hillville?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
And the reports of these stories date back to the 1970s. And this area is specifically, the woods in the area are known as Zombieland. I thought, is there a cemetery there? But this seems to have started as a local legend amongst high schoolers. Strangely, the legend of Zombieland has to also do with a torch, which is known as the either eternal flame, zombie torch, or eternal torch.
Like the Olympic torch.
I know. Literally, that's all I could think of when I was thinking about what it looks like. But no, not really. And it seems like this eternal torch is one of the few actually paranormal aspects of this, other than the zombies themselves. But let's get into the paranormal parts, because this is a wild ride. Buckle up.
I don't have a seatbelt.
So we'll jump into how the zombies appear here. In order to get the zombies to appear, you have to go into the woods, find the eternal torch, eternal flame, zombie torch, zombie flame, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to call it the zombie torch moving forward. And you have to light it. And then the zombies will allegedly come out of the woods, drawn to the light from the flame. So it really gives me like Black Flame Candle from Hocus Pocus vibes.
Right.
And I thought, okay, you go into the woods, you find this torch, and it's probably the case that no one can find the torch or whatever. And so that's why there's no actual photos of the zombies. But it's so much more intense than that. There's actually an outlined journey through Zombieland, and if you don't go through it in the right steps, then you can still light the torch or whatever, but the zombies won't appear. So bear with me. There are 7 or 8 stops on this journey to get to the torch of Zombieland. First is the Virgin Mary statue. Apparently, stopping here is key to determining if it's safe to go into Zombieland, because the Virgin Mary statue will have her hands apart if it's safe and clasped if it's not. Now,
okay. Interesting.
Believe it or not, I could find no photos where the statue has her hands open because she's praying.
Right. So, yeah, this is like, I was kind of ready for it to be like, the Virgin Mary's crying or something, like tears of blood or something.
Nope. It's the hands.
You'd have to see a photo or something for me to be like, okay, yeah, there's something here, but then my immediate science side would be like, so how are the arms actuating?
Right. So, starting off rough, in my opinion. So, you have to go to the statue, see her hands open, or else you won't see the zombies. So again, throughout this, a theme is it makes sense why no one has ever seen these zombies. Second is the haunted railroad tracks. So on the trip to Zombieland being the location in the woods from the Virgin Mary statue, you cross over tracks. And these tracks are meant to start your journey to Zombieland, because allegedly if you stop by the tracks, you have to wait and listen to hear a ghost train to signify your journey. And that will be the sound of a whistle or the sound of a train engine, and you have to listen for it to go all the way past you. Thoughts on that one?
So paranormal sounds, sure, that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but you would think that there's video or audio of a ghost train going by, where it's just like you can hear the sounds of a train, but you don't see a train. I don't know why I find myself more believing the idea of having a ghost train than the Virgin Mary not actuating her arms.
Well, so a theme that you'll see through multiple of these stops is I wonder if they are just identifying haunted locations and linking them together as the journey, because it's possible that these railroad tracks are haunted.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's why I'm saying like the train sounds more plausible than the...
Right. Yeah, I'm agreeing. Yeah. But does it signify your journey into Zombieland? I'm not sure.
Well, hold on, Sarah. This is only step 2.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go to step 3.
Yeah. Don't already jump off the journey.
You're right. So step 3 is Hilltown Bridge. And this bridge is said to, you're going to be like, really? This bridge is said to be haunted by travelers that have gone before you. And the way that these hauntings manifest are lights around or underneath the bridge. Now, unfortunately, many of these have been debunked as people under the bridge starting fires.
Gotcha. Well, I don't know. Hearing that it's the travelers that come before you, it makes me think of like, what if there was not a zombie? I guess it'd be a zombie too. A ghost that came from the future.
What do you mean?
I don't know. Do they also like spirits don't seem to have a sense of time? What if they're actually from the future? Whoa.
I can't even go into that. This episode already has so much crazy. I can't.
Well, I think Erica agrees with me. She's desperately trying not to crack a smile and start laughing, but you know.
No, I think it's possible the bridge is haunted, but I think these have a very natural, not supernatural explanation. I think it's just people lighting fires. I promise I'm not this skeptical at every stop. I promise.
Can you tell me a bit more about the bridge though? So when they say like lighting fires below, like is this going over like large valley, like mountain range?
Yeah, it's like a tall bridge. You could easily be underneath the bridge. And so
is it like a valley that's underneath it that you...
It's a river, I believe.
A river? And so like is it a popular camping ground?
I think they're unhomed people.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. And what's interesting is the bridge has been modernized a few times since these Zombieland claims. So the bridge itself has changed materials. The location, of course, could still be haunted. But this one seems not very paranormal to me.
Okay.
Next up, we have the killing fields. So this is we're on 4? Yes, stop 4 is the killing fields. And people report hearing gunshots and screaming when they near these fields. People also say that shadow figures dart across the field, and they say that hellhounds lurk in the tree lines.
Okay. Do we have like any history of this one where like there's like been like
privately
perhaps
owned
like
fund.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just private farm, and it is still private property. So they do have really big no trespassing signs. I looked them up. So I don't recommend that you go onto this killing field.
Well, yeah, I'm just wondering if if it was the site of like a historic battle or like skirmish or something at one point.
No, not anything that I could find. No.
Okay.
So this one, it could be something that's not documented. Who knows?
Right. It's not like every Civil War battlefield and skirmish was recorded perfectly.
Right. And I think I'm more likely to believe that there are shadow figures in this field than I am to believe that the lights under the bridge are paranormal.
Right. And I'd be remiss to say it's not like it was only the Civil War that could have happened out here as well.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So stop 5 is Coffee Run Stream Culvert. And this stop has some true crime, and so it is actually spooky. In 2000, the burnt body of a 12-year-old was found here. 3 men were charged with the crime. All men were sentenced to prison, with 2 having life sentences. And the tie to Zombieland is fragile. People say that, like, maybe the killing happened because of Zombieland, or that it's now haunted, and that has something to do with Zombieland. I just think personally this is a spooky location that you physically pass by between the statue and Zombieland.
Tragedy about the child.
Yeah, it is a tragedy. I didn't want to say her name out of respect for her, but it seems like a really fragile connection. But I think you can claim that you stopped there because you drive past it on the way.
Gotcha. Okay.
So, moving on to Graffiti Bridge. And this one is perhaps my favorite stop.
Graffiti?
Graffiti. Yeah. This is perhaps my favorite stop. It reminds me of like the graffiti trail in Southside.
Paint Park, you mean?
Yes. But Paint Park probably means nothing to people that aren't from Pittsburgh.
Or Color Park?
Yeah.
I think its official name is actually Color Park.
Yeah, but it's essentially just like a trail through the woods. It's like a formal bike trail, and people spray paint and stuff. It's a really cool area if you're ever in Pittsburgh to look at.
Yeah, there's an area that's designated that anybody can go and produce their artwork there via spray paint or paint whatever. Mm-hmm. And you get some like really cool paintings out there. And then it's like every year they reset the park so that fresh paintings can be put forth.
Yeah, I remember when I used to run that path, it would be cool because like every day it would look a little different.
Yeah, a lot of like Rick and Morty references, and there were plenty of Pokemon drawn too, and I was like, wow, that's a really cool Gengar.
Yeah, there's a Bowser for a while.
Oh yeah.
It was really cool. So this is like similar vibes. But according to this, if you can find your name on the bridge in spray paint, then bridge people, which is like a cryptid, will crawl out from under the bridge and attack you. Some versions of the local legend say that you have to spray your name on the bridge in order for the bridge people to appear.
So I would take it more as like the bridge people are offended that you're messing with their bridge, but...
Oh, that's actually a great point about if you have to spray paint your name. I didn't consider that.
Yeah, it's like if you spray paint your name, they'll come after you. And it's like, it's because you spray painted your name or you were spray painting at all.
Yeah, that's true. Or do they spray paint the names of people and they're like, Sarah is on my bad list. And then I'm like, oh, my name's Sarah. And they're like, it's her.
Right.
But I like this one. It's kind of a cool, I've never heard anything like this really. So I think it's really interesting. And it seems like it's a similar case to Color Park where they pave over it every now and then people spray more stuff. So that one's really interesting. And apparently this fits into the Zombieland thing because the bridge people act as a sort of guardian or like buffer because you're almost there.
Gatekeeper.
This is the last stop. So if you make it past the bridge people, you have reached Zombieland, where you will find the zombie torch. And the torch is an old vent that was used to vent natural gas. And to me, that sounds incredibly dangerous to light on fire.
What's the worst that'll happen?
Right? Like, I'm Centralia all over again.
Yeah, sounds fine.
Or like an explosion. So...
Probably not.
Apparently, you will be unable to light it unless you've completed the steps in the right order. If some versions of the legend say you can light it, but the zombies won't appear if you didn't do the steps in the right order. Another version says that there used to be a house nearby. From what I found, it's torn down since. But there used to be a house nearby called the Blood House, where people say a local witch lived. And if you light the fire, it rouses the witch, who then resurrects the zombies. She's like a necromancer.
Ah, yes. The healer that doesn't understand.
So, I don't know. There's a lot to this. What is your take on all of it?
Well, we haven't even discussed what type of zombie is it. Are they like the shambling horrors? Can they run?
It doesn't say. I could not find any accounts of people actually seeing zombies.
Man, we need some more lore on this. What is are these shambling horrors? Are they fully resurrected people that look as they did? You know, because like if it's a necromancer, it's a witch, who's to say that she can't resurrect them looking exactly as they did?
Okay, but what's your take on this overall? I mean, we covered the 7 stops. What do you think?
I don't know. I think it'd be fun to go like walk it and do it or drive it.
Drive it, yeah. Would you try to light the torch?
Sure. Why not?
Okay, maybe I'll go with Erica. Because we won't be lighting something that's a natural gas vent. And
Why?
you can go separately.
People have done it before.
Allegedly. This is all allegedly. I couldn't find pictures of it lit. I found pictures of it unlit.
So then it could have been that it was a natural gas vent that is no longer like the pocket is fully released.
And if it is the case that it's a natural gas vent, then you could blow yourself up.
Not with that attitude.
Yeah. But okay. Let's say if it wasn't a natural gas vent, would you light it?
Yes. Yes. Well, so here's the thing. How is it a legend? There are survivors to tell the tale, which means they are able to get away. Otherwise, how would you even know the steps to get there?
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Yep.
I don't think I would light it because at step 1, I think you're out. The Virgin Mary statue, hands clasped, unless for some paranormal reason I do see her hands open, I feel like you can't complete it, you know?
Right. Well, this is true. So, because they all say like hands have to be open, right?
Yeah.
So you open up the hands. What if the hands can be opened?
It's like in a church, and it's in the yard of a church, and it looks like it's behind glass.
I wonder why the glass got put there.
I know, right? That's what I was thinking too. I was like, looks like it's kind of a protected thing. And everything I read was like, the church is private property, just so you know. I don't know. I think there are potentially paranormal elements here, like I said. Like, I think the cryptids of the bridge people is cool. I think it's definitely possible that there's a ghost train. I think there could be ghosts where the true crime happened. Is this all necessary to light a torch and call zombies? I don't know about that.
I mean, I would say it depends, right? Who knows? But if it's it's like waken the witch, well, and that it sounds like the witch has no issue raising the dead. So
yeah. So you believe like that version of it, if there's the witch.
So if there's the witch, yeah, like she'll just be resurrecting the dead, bringing them back for cuddles and hugs, I imagine.
Yeah, I don't know. This one was a really interesting story, but I'm not sure how behind it I am.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with you there, where it is interesting, and it's like a cool, like high school or like campfire story, especially.
Yeah, like go light the torch.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm in agreement with you that there are paranormal aspects to this, but some of it sounds like just a little too far-fetched, unless somebody wants to provide us with evidence, and we will happily admit we were wrong.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, multiple listeners requested it, so people are aware of this Zombieland, and maybe the legend has spread further than we thought. It's actually not that far from Pittsburgh, like I said, so we could even make a day trip to go.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is really a pretty fun story, because I don't think we've done anything that's like this in
prescribed,
like like detailed in regards of like a summoning.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, I don't know how many like summonings we've done.
Not really.
Or covered.
No. But I mean, we've never really covered zombies. So.
Entirely not true. We have covered zombies.
In debates, but at a location?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. We did goblins, but not zombies.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't a zombie. It was still like a ghost that, what was it? Like the Lover's Point?
No.
Where like scratching on the roof of the car and such.
Yeah, that was Axe Hollow in Erie. I was thinking of the haunted lovers, the Christmas story where he like comes out of the lake.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of zombie-esque. But either way, let us know your thoughts on this Zombieland, because it's a really interesting story in my opinion. And do you think it's completely not paranormal, somewhat paranormal, or completely paranormal and all real? Let us know in the comments, and if you have a place you want us to cover, find us on socials or email us at paranormalinpennsylvania@gmail.com. Thanks for listening to this week's episode, and tune in next Thursday to see what history and hauntings we discuss next. Stay spooky, my friends.
Spooky!